There's always going to be this competition between China and the United States about who is leading who in terms of technology and other areas of the economy. I think both countries get to capitalize on that just as competitors will do. But most of the time, our challenge is to point out quite simply which of these countries is leading what area, how so, and also what are the implications for that country and also the rest of the world. Recently, I came across this video by Nvidia CEO, and he talks about China's progress in technology and how China is leading the AI competition. He talks about 5 layers of this competition and how China is dominating them. First, he talks about the energy and how China has more energy than the United States, even though United States have the larger economy than China.
You said something recently that was quite provocative. You said that China was winning the AI race, the AI competition. I know that you've got a powerful, competitor in Huawei. And Huawei has a lot of advantages you don't have. Why don't you describe this competition? Are we really losing?
It was a very good headline.
It was a great headline, yeah.
And it apparently caught a lot of attention. As you know, with headlines, the disclaimer part, the foundation part was left out of the headline. But the way to think about that is, let me just handicap it right now. If you look at AI, and go back to the first thing that we said, AI is a 5-layer cake. Let's just always simplify. It's not quite this simplistic, but let's simplify AI into a 5-layer cake. Energy, chips, infrastructure, models, and applications. Okay? And let's handicap it across from bottom to top. At the lowest level, energy, China has twice the amount of energy we have as a nation.
I want to ask about that.
Twice as much energy as we have as a nation, and our economy is
twice more energy than the United States. And United States is
larger than theirs. Makes no sense to me. We also know
when he said
one of the most important initiatives, one of the most important policies of this administration, and there was the first thing that President Trump said to me when we met, is, listen, we need to reindustrialize America. We need to onshore manufacturing again. We need to help America make things again. It's going to create jobs. That part of the economy has been offshored, and completely gutted the United States. We need to bring that back, and he needs my help to do so. And so that entire sector of the economy is missing. And however, without energy, how do we build chip plants, computer system plants, and these AI data centers? We call them AI factories. We're building simultaneously 3 different types of factories in the United States: chip factories, supercomputer factories, and AI factories. They all require energy, every single one of them. Yeah. And so on the one hand, we want to reindustrialize the United States. How do you do that without energy? And so the fact that we vilified energy for so long, President Trump sticking his neck out and taking it on the chin and helping the country realize that energy is necessary for our growth, is one of the greatest things he's done right off the bat. And so now, at the energy level, back to that stack, we're 50%, and they're growing straight up. We're kind of flat right now. And so, number 1, energy. Number 2, chips. We're generations ahead. We are generations ahead on chips, and I think everybody recognizes that.
They are generations ahead of China in terms of chips. That doesn't mean that China cannot catch up. China. One thing I know about China is they are fast. They are really fast. If they figure out how to make those chips, the way they will produce it, it will be faster than anything the United States have ever seen. It's just that maybe they have not just figured out the technology on how to create the same exact chips the United States are creating.
Number 3, infrastructure.
Based on past things that I know about China.
From breaking ground to standing up a AI supercomputer is probably about 3 years. They can build a hospital in a weekend. That's a real challenge. And so at the infrastructure layer, their velocity of building things, because they are builders, their velocity of building things is extraordinarily high. Now, really quickly on chips, we're several generations ahead, but don't be complacent. Remember, semiconductors is a manufacturing process. Anybody who thinks China can't manufacture is missing a big idea.
But China discounts energy costs for a chip company by 50%.
That's right.
They provide free transportation for employees to come out to the factory.
That's right.
I mean, you can't do that. I mean,
Our energy cost is more expensive than theirs in the first place.
Absolutely.
And then they discounted 50%. And so we're probably call it 4 to 8 times the cost. Yeah.
So tell me, how do you feel about this great competition with China? I mean, the government is putting enormous resources underneath their champion. We don't do that in this country. You know, how do you feel about that?
Well, before I get there, don't let me not answer that question. I'm dying to answer it. But let me handicap the next 2 layers. The model layer, United States frontier models, our frontier models are unquestionably world-class. We are probably, call it 6 months ahead. However, out of the 1.4 million models,
6 months ahead in terms of AI models. If he's talking about ChatGPT and AI models like Gemini, that they are 6 months ahead of other models like the DeepSeek. 6 months is not too far ahead that China cannot come close.
most of them are open source. China
Yeah.
is well ahead, way ahead on open source. Now, the reason why open source is so important is because without open source, startups can't thrive, university researchers can't do research, you can't teach AI, scientists can't use AI. Basically, all of the industry around your economy have no ability to fundamentally advance themselves unless you have open source. Without Linux, where would we be? Without Kubernetes, without PyTorch, all of these different types of technologies that made AI thrive are all open source. They are well ahead of us on open source. And then the layer above that, applications. If you were to do a poll of their society and ours, and you ask them, is AI likely to do more good than harm? They're going to say, in their case, 80% would say AI will do more good than harm. In our case, it'd be the other way around. And so that tells you something that's very, very important. Socially, we need to be careful not to describe AI in these science fiction movie ways of describing AI and causing people so much concern. We want to be concerned, but we also want to be practical. AI is about automation. And that area,
China, when we talk about application, I thought about how China is implementing these AI systems, right, in their homes. I think they have find a way to implement this AI technology, these AI models in the simplest things people use in their homes, right? Like washing machines, cleaners, and all those kind of things.
and that area, I think that we need to be careful not to fall behind in the application and the diffusion of AI, because in the end, whoever applies the technology first and most wins that industrial revolution. As you know, electricity was invented in the UK, but United States applied it faster, more broadly, and as a result, look where we are. And so we have to be a little mindful. And so anyways, I just handicapped that stack, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's important when you're looking at AI not to see it as a holistic thing. It's really not about ChatGPT versus DeepSeek. You have to look at it across all of the stacks and across all of the industries. Does that make sense? It's a little bit more complicated than one simple answer.
But do you feel you have a level playing field up against China putting their resources under Huawei?
Also, I want to say that from the outside looking in, it seems like United States is more obsessed with China than China is with the United States, right? From looking at the gestures people make online of on TVs, and from the things I see, from the information I gather about how people talk about this competition between these two countries, right? It's like China is focusing more inward, and the United States is focusing more outward. Let me know what you think about this, if you understand or if you get it or not.
First of all, America's technology industry, just as our financial services industry, our military, our technology industry, we can all agree, are the mightiest in the world. I am part of one of the mightiest industries anyone in history has ever seen.
Yeah.
We have, going toe-to-toe against anyone, the American technology industry has nothing to fear. We are mighty, we're fast, we're inventive, we'll take anybody on. However, we can't concede the market to them. As you know, at the moment, Nvidia has been banned from going to China. Not to mention, China has banned Nvidia going to China. Yeah. And so I think we're the first company in history that has been banned on both sides. And so whoever banned us going to China, them and China agree that Nvidia should not go to. Now, of course, I'm being a little cute here, and I'll be a little bit more nuanced here in a second. But at the moment, we're simply not competing in China. Now, what's going on? We have conceded essentially the second largest AI market, the second largest technology market in the world.
I know.
China will. It's not. Somebody has said to me, "Well, yeah, okay. Well, we're not in China, but we're going to grow somewhere else. You're not going to replace China."
No way.
It's
What is
just
the
as
population of China?
the world wanting to sell to America and they want to export to America. If they don't export to America, you're not going to replace the United States. We are singular in the world. We are absolutely singular. And so in the case of China, we shouldn't concede the entire market to them. They're
1
formidable,
billion.
but
That is
conceding that
crazy.
entire market,
1.4
we got to go
billion.
compete for it. Having
So
said
what
that,
is the population of United
we
States?
should also acknowledge that Huawei is one of the most formidable technology companies the world has ever seen.
340
They deserve,
million.
although they have a lot of support,
It's
whatever
crazy.
support they have,
340
they deserve
million.
all of the respect.
This is based on
everybody ought to.
342 million.
We compete with this
Mid
company.
2025.
They're formidable, they're agile, they move incredibly fast. We said if United States was not in China, China's AI industry would be set back.
Yeah.
Absolutely has not happened. As a result, their semiconductor industry has double. You know, the semiconductor industry in the West, around the world, is growing at 20-30% per year. Growing 20-30% per year compounded versus doubling every year compounded doesn't take long to catch up.